are super excited to welcome you to our 30th community call for REtoken and the Triple Win Foundation. Tons of exciting things happening right now. Super excited to have everybody on board. So wanted to welcome Yanks, who said to step away for a minute, and Amy. Good to see you guys here. We have a lot to go through, so let's jump right in. So first of all, wanted to talk about REtoken, which is the core project of the 3-1 DAO and the Triple Win Foundation ecosystem. So the first thing that's happening with REtoken is we're trying to make everything that we're doing here a bounty. The reason for that is we want to quantify who's doing what, did want to identify what's happening with different projects. We've been using dwork.xyz and wanted to let everybody know that we're going to be getting a lot more bounties on that here moving forward. Welcome, baby Yonks. Good to see your pretty face on the screen. Say hi, everybody. We're going to be doing dwork.xyz, and that is, so we're going to have all of our bounties on there moving forward. Did want to let everybody know two things that are coming up. Amy, I don't know if you have any opportunity to help with this or interest in this, but I know that you are always posting tons of interesting articles about DAOs and real estate and all kinds of things in the space. I see your stuff on LinkedIn. We would love some help managing and recruiting content for the REtoken page. It's growing every month. We are seeing tons of interest in it. We don't have enough time to gather as much content as we want. So one of the bounties that's going to be coming out from a social media standpoint is going to be social media articles, interesting things, and we want to create a lot of content for REtoken on LinkedIn, also to grow the Triple Win Foundation. We're reorganizing the pages, so Triple Win Foundation is going to be the core page. Everything else on the screen that you see, which is 3win.foundation, these are all going to be sub projects. And we want to create lots of interesting content for all of them. So Amy, I don't know if that's something that you're interested in. Don't tell me right now, but that is going to be a bounty that we've got coming up to curate articles and curate content. And then we're going to write commentary on that and just need some help on that. So that's a bounty that's going to be coming up that you will be able to earn REtoken for. The next thing that we're doing with REtoken is we're going to be automating a lot of the admin work. We were talking on our last working group about Zapier and Make. We're going to be getting those tools in place, and we're trying to figure out from either the automation tools what we're able to do as far as automatically posting things to Meetup and Sesh, and what all the tools can do as far as automating these things. Our meetups are all continuing to grow. We are seeing a lot of meetup membership from across the US and some international. So hybrid events are a very strong interest. I'm not sure if we actually have enough people in any one city to represent that, but I think if we started doing consistently Denver, Memphis, whatever other cities we have hosts for meetups, that we will start growing that community. So that's going to be a big priority coming up here for the rest of May and June. And speaking of the rest of May, Jason's actually going to be heading to out of town here twice. He's going to Miami for a tokenization one-day event, real estate tokenization event. And he's also going to Austin for the Digital Assets and Securities Conference. He and Teresa went to that last year. I actually saw that Teresa's on stage. Really fun. Also, Corey Goodlander, who was one of our keynote speakers at Token Summit in February, he's also going to be on stage. So it's always really nice to know that we are attracting the cream of the crop speakers and the same people that are ending up on some of the biggest stages in the industry. We've got them. We actually got them first. So I'm super excited to look at that. We are going to sync this up with office hours, Google Cal, and want to see what all we can automate. I know we don't always give people the most notice. That's a big priority to get that changed. So stay tuned for the automation tools. We're going to be getting that going. I am hoping that that's something that Blurstay may be able to pick up. I'm going to check in with him after this call. I didn't realize he wasn't going to be here. Next thing is Jason and I actually own a house in the Chicago area that we've been looking into options for tokenizing. Little tricky situation because we do still have a mortgage on that, so we don't have the option to just outright transfer it to an LLC. But we are looking into options to see if that may be the first thing we want to tokenize. If it is, or if it is not, we're looking for the first house and the first property that we do in a tokenize. We're also looking for the security partners, and we are building our email and text list so that when we do launch, we're ready to go. There's another company in the real estate space called Lofty.ai. I think you've heard us mention them before. They're doing some really interesting things in terms of marketing. One of the things that I see their announcements a lot are some of their highest producing cap rating properties. They used to let people buy unlimited amounts of those deals, and they capped it at 10%, then they capped it at 5%. They're announcing a new deal like every day. I mean, they're just moving a lot of real estate. It's really interesting for two reasons. One is they have so much liquidity that they're able to provide their own market, and they're buying the tokens back. And the good part of that is it's a really interesting kind of community model. The one potential negative is I don't know that there is anything in it for the tenants. I don't know if they're giving them tokens with their rent. I don't believe they are. So it's just a pure investment play. But they do allow people to stake and leverage. They have lots of interesting moving parts that are things that we need to consider for REtoken. So we're getting ready for that. I know there's been some questions about when we're going to move forward with tokenization. That is something that's a high priority that we're working on. So just stay tuned for that. The other thing that we are doing with our property as a test case to see how this would work out within REtoken is we're going to be ordering some miners, which are computers that actually create cryptocurrency. One of them, there's a smaller altcoin called Helium. We're going to be ordering some Helium miners. The way that Helium is set up is you have to be physically apart. I think it's at least 300 feet from other Helium miners. So you can't buy a half dozen miners and then stick them back to back on a shelf. You have to have them spread apart. So we were looking at buying a half dozen miners and putting them in different properties that we own or we live in or have access to. We are really interested in seeing what this could look like from both an electrical footprint standpoint in the house, and also how we can incentivize tenants that we have and other owners of houses that we're putting these miners in. So it's a lot of experimentation right now. We are looking at ways that we can get the model set up tight. So we want to start doing it with investor money. We've already tested it on ourselves with our own money and to see what that looks like. So stay tuned for that. Lots of excitement there. The next thing on our list, moving right down the agenda, is blockchain bootcamp for real estate. So we did have our first one on April 23rd, and Jason, let's make a note to get this updated to May 14th for the next one. We did have our first blockchain bootcamp. It went, I think, really well. I was the host. I'm a little bit biased. We did have a couple of tech hiccups that we're ironing out, and we had incredible participation. We had great feedback. The platform hopin.com, which was the back-end tech infrastructure of the event, did a little pop-up survey, and we actually scored a 9.9 out of 10. Huge shout out to Jason for doing all the production. While I was talking and presenting things, he was bringing up all of the back-end slides, added so much color to the presentation. So thanks, Jason. You were awesome. Really loved all the color you added to that. We are going to be doing that event again. So just as a reminder, when we sell these tickets for Blockchain Bootcamp, that is a 1-year seasons pass from the date of the first event that you buy, 365 days of events. We are going to be doing Blockchain Bootcamp 101 again here May 14th. We're also going to be continuing to be doing Blockchain 101, and then we are considering doing Blockchain 201, and then DAO 101, 201, and NFT 101, 201. Not exactly sure what's going to be the most interesting to the audience. So we're just flushing through those ideas and doing some spot check and some research to see what would be the most interesting for people to learn. We did have several realtors on the call. We had a couple of our REtoken and Triple Win active campaign members there. Lots of great participation, and was just really happy with the event overall. So moving forward, stay tuned for Bootcamp. We are working, and we're going to get to this in the affiliate section later on, but we are working on do-it-yourself affiliate strategies to help people promote Bootcamp and then get paid themselves. The event grows $600. We're going to net out $300 as the affiliate. We're hoping to scale that up, and we're going to scale that up moving forward. So next thing that we wanted to talk about is Token Town, the HOA destroyer. One more thing on blockchain Bootcamp. We had some feedback on the format, which was we needed more stories, and so I'm going to redo the material a little bit on that. We also decided that we're going to do some private VIP events, and tentatively second Tuesday alpha or something, second Tuesday of May is coming up here next week. We would like to have a touch in between every month event. So we did want to add in some extra just to make that ticket even a little bit more valuable. A 1 hour call with some huge alpha, and we're going to drop some more alpha here at the end of this call. Just really excited about that. So moving on to Token Town, our wonderful core team member Rosetta has decided that she wants to come in as a founding citizen. Super excited to have her on board. I don't know if she has decided whether she wants to be in the Colorado or the Tennessee or both. If she ends up in Tennessee, she might be founding citizen number 1. So that's really exciting. On that, we are also looking at building out the investment clubs in Colorado and Tennessee so that people can invest $100 a month on that. And one of the things I wanted to go over was Jason and I joined an investment club here in the Denver area. It was actually something that Jason found on Meetup. And when we did the event on Meetup, Jason actually attended it. So we first attended it on Zoom. They have a hybrid style where it's a little bit jerry-rigged, but it's basically just I think it's an iPhone camera or some camera just at the guy, and then it's in a library, it's a public library. So they have this event. Their structure is limited partnership. It's a really low commitment. I think it's $25 a month, and they're only taking, I think, maybe 25 or 50 members in the club. It's something that you commit $25 per month per member for, I think, maybe 2 years. And they go through the different strategies of investing in some main coins and some altcoins. And they go through, they're keeping their books on QuickBooks. We wanted to propose a Web3 solution, Gnosis Safe, and some other things. But for right now, that's kind of what's working. We've gotten a lot of really interesting material that we will be able to use here moving forward in our own investment club. For those of you who don't know, we do have our investment club launched. We have 14 Ethereum invested in that club, and we're getting a decent amount of momentum in it. So we would like to open that up to the Colorado Co-op Housing Investment Club. So we're going to skip the DAO hack and come back to that here for a minute. But the monthly meetup, we do want to have Token Town meetups probably on Zoom, because we have an investor here in Denver. We also have one in Canada and 2 in Texas. So an in-person meetup for Token Town, Colorado doesn't necessarily make sense, but as the co-op investment club grows, particularly if they're anywhere kind of in the front range, I do think an investment club in-person event would be really beneficial. The other thing is we have seen just tons of success with this very casual happy hour called Crypto Rado. There's like 2,500 people in their meetup, and they just have casual happy hours a couple times a month. No agenda, just show up, have a beer, hang out, talk to whoever, meet interesting people, do interesting things. And that's a model that I think really works. It's pretty easy to be consistent when there's not a lot of planning. I do think we want to have a little bit more structure and either have some kind of agenda or a guest speaker plus a happy hour or a social event, because we do have a lot of information to deliver to these people, but we also want it to have fun and build relationships and have people really look forward to going to that. Next thing is, here comes Rosetta, let her in. So while Rosetta's getting logged in, we have a couple things to think about. One is when Jason very first onboarded into crypto, it was through this clubhouse room called Crypto and Coffee. and it was a daily room where people got together. I don't know, Jason, if it was structured or there's an agenda, or if it was just people kind of just chatting about what they wanted to. Can you talk to kind of what the structure of Crypto and Coffee was when you got involved with it?
Yeah, there was a format for the show there on Clubhouse.
Cool. So I remember that was something that was really valuable to him when he was getting started. And I think that's something that would be cool and interesting for us to follow, is having some kind of a casual social thing that people can just pop into. And I don't know if Clubhouse is the right format for it, or Twitter Spaces, or whatever. Jason and I reconnected with one of our friends that we met in another DAO that we were on the leadership team of, and he mentioned that he did a marathon Twitter space for 14 hours, and he ended up selling out a multi-thousand NFT collection over these 14 hours with giveaways and with other stuff, and everybody kind of promoting it to all their own networks. And just really interesting, some of the power of some of these social referrals and what this could look like. So did want to throw that out there. Circling back to the DAO hack here for a minute, the DAO hack is a couple different things. The first thing is the original point of the DAO hack was to be a video podcast, place for us to interview cool people and host cool things. It's since turned into a book club. The podcast still exists. It's been a little dormant because we've been slammed, but we do want to get back to at least a monthly interview with somebody, if not more often, just because I think there's something that's so valuable about getting people on video, talking to them about their ideas, letting them share their screens, letting them share their passion. It's just something that you don't always get through a Twitter space or Clubhouse. I think sort of the evolution of Facebook chat or anything in text, voice is better than that, but video is better than the other two. And I think that video has so much of a longer shelf life. So if any of you guys have people that we should interview or have ideas on that, we would love to do that. If you want to be a co-host on one of those podcasts, we would love to have you. We really want to get back to having those episodes. Also, if you're not already on our Saturday morning book club, want to officially invite you. We're reading a book from one of our other core team members, Julie, The Art of Impossible, by I think it's Stephen Cutler. I'm not sure if I'm getting that last name right. Super, super interesting book. It is all about the actions plus the mindset plus the emotional energy plus the whole things if you want to do something that's impossible. And he compares it to one of the chapters that we just read, was talking about elite athletes. And when you have somebody who is a world-class athlete, the difference in the actual athletic ability of some of these people, there actually isn't a lot of difference. It's a millisecond here or an extra second there. Really just makes the difference between world records, Olympic championships, that kind of thing. So whatever you want to do in your life that is impossible, it's a really interesting book. So I've been listening to that. Really want to reread that book on paper. I just like to slow it down and just do that. But we do that every Saturday morning from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. That's been rotating between Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse. We do post those links on the Discord and then on our Google Calendar. We're always looking for the next interesting book. So if you have read anything that just really rocked you, or there's anything that you've heard a recommendation for, shoot them our way. We'd love to put those in the tickler for next time. And then on the moving on to Token Summit, this is something that we're going to need a massive amount of help with. So Token Day, DAO Day 2/22/22 was pretty massive, trying to organize 8 hours of interviews. And we made a couple of decisions. One was the one-on-one interviews were really powerful. We'd actually like to do more panels. We'd also like to, I think 30 minutes is about the right length of time for a one-on-one. 1 hour really worked well when it was a panel. We'd love to know what topics are going to be the most interesting. We're going to be doing 3 days of content, which are DAO. It's going to be all about DAO, tokenized projects, and NFTs. So I have been getting really active on LinkedIn, following influencers, really connecting with people. I've got a lot of leads on who we want to do. So I'm starting to plug and go. If you have people that should be on stage, let's collaborate on that. I'd love to know who they are. Let's get them on schedule. And a lot of these people book up pretty early, so I do want to make sure that we get this done. The other thing that we need to figure out for Token Summit was when we did it in February, it was our first time using happen.com. The entire event was live. We had a couple of huge wins, which I'm so grateful for. The first win was everybody who committed showed up, which I was pretty mortified. I didn't really have a plan B if somebody just didn't come. And so everybody showed up. I was really grateful. Everybody was prepared. Everybody was excellent. I loved getting a chance to interview some of the top minds in the industry. And it's been really fun. I actually had just a random guy reach out to me on LinkedIn this morning, and he had said, "Hey, totally random. I saw you make a comment on somebody else's post. I need some help on something. Can you introduce me to an attorney? Can you introduce me to this person and this person? And who do you know?" And I was almost everybody that I introduced him to, and all the resources that I referred him to were either tools that we've discussed here on working groups and people that I met, either who I interviewed on DAO Day or who had committed to being part of DAO Day in June. It's been this incredible opportunity for us to reach out to cool, interesting people and some of the leading minds and the thinkers in the space. And we just have this incredible event planned. Those tickets are on sale now through Eventbrite. We need to figure out if we're going to be doing another event here on Unlock Protocol. We did have a little bit of a challenge with not realizing that there was a 10% surcharge on top of the credit card fee. So that our $97 ticket turned into a $110 ticket. And so Jason and I bought our own ticket for $97 just to see how it worked, make sure it worked. And when it came back through, we received $100 as REtoken for this ticket that we were only trying to charge $97 for. So a little weird, and we want to make sure that we are minimizing those fees for people. We want this to be super, super affordable. I do think that we're delivering an absolute ton of value. I would love to know from any of your point of view who and how we want to reach out. Again, our focus for Blockchain Bootcamp are real estate professionals, real estate investors, and renters who want to become owners, which is, we think, most to all of the folks who are involved in real estate. You probably identify in one of those three buckets. Either you're somebody who is currently in one of those, or you would like to be. And if you're not, I'm not sure if this boot camp it is probably the right thing for you, but we're going to be doing a similar structure here on May 14th, which is going to be the morning is going to be the nuts and bolts of blockchain, crypto, DAOs, Web3. So you understand the vocabulary and the language, and some action steps. We're going to increase some of the hands-on. One of the things that we got some feedback on was we went through things like how you open a wallet, how you set up an ENS. We might actually just do that on the next boot camp so that people can actually see and kind of do it along with us, or watch and make sure they're doing it correctly on the replay. And we do want to be available to those people later on because we do want to perform this as a community. It's not just a one-time event. We do have active campaign that we are starting to get going here with email opt-ins, and we need to redo the Token Summit website. We do have it all geared for 2/22/22, so we need to update the logo. We need to update the website. Dax is very generously offered to help redo things and add in. He and Dylan just did an absolute ton of work on our first website. Something that we need to think about as a three-win community is whether or not we want to have somebody write a theme, a website theme. So if you've ever seen a website that looked very flowy and clean and you're just kind of scrolling through it, and those are all themes that somebody built, and a lot of that stuff is plug and go. The colors, the designs, the fonts, which pictures, which stories, what copy goes where, and those are all things that that designers do. So to get a theme, it's going to be somewhere in the several $1,000s range, depending on what we want, how sophisticated we want it to be, what all functionality we want it to have is going to determine the price. We do have some money in the treasury, and that's something that is we're just really excited to continue to up our game on Token Summit through more speakers, longer events, better access, ideally. And I don't know when we're going to get there. It's going to depend on how fast this thing could blow up. Is ideally we would say attend the event virtually, and then if you are in Denver, Nashville, Dallas, LA, New York, London, Paris, pay $25, go to a happy hour, meet and greet, and have one of us be the host if you guys are interested in doing that. We would love to have our core team meeting people, shaking hands, really connecting, answering questions, really just giving that human touch. I think is super important. The other thing that we were hoping to launch in March and it didn't happen, I'm actually thinking now potentially October, is we wanted to do a Women of Web3, Women of Crypto, just really highlight the women in this space. We only represent about 2% of the funded projects in Web3, but for whatever reason, I am connecting with a bazillion of them. I've met so many interesting, powerful, incredible women in venture capital and in NFTs and in DAOs and in leadership roles. I mean, I'm like, these women are just popping up everywhere in my network. So one of the things that I didn't do this on purpose with DAO Day, but just as I was doing research and popping up who was interesting, most of the speakers that I ended up booking were women, not really any intentionality behind that, just very accomplished people that I wanted to connect with and highlight. So I thought if we really did this Women of Web3, Sandy Carter, who's the Senior Vice President of Unstoppable Domains, who's one of our keynote speakers, actually she's now one of the leaders of a Web3 domain called Unstoppable Domains. And she's the chairman of Girls Who Code, which is something that is not really girls, but high school students and college students you're trying to shepherd into Web3. She wanted to really highlight that. So she started Unstoppable Women of Web3, and we want to take a cue from her and really move that forward. So we're thinking about that for maybe October. If any of you want to be involved with that, let's have you on that. And then last but not least, on affiliate marketing DAO, one of the things that we wanted to do, Jason and I set a personal goal, which was to help 1,000 people make $100,000 each through affiliate marketing. I think a lot of times affiliate marketing gets a really bad rap. People think that you are selling crappy products to your grandma and highlighting or hitting up every person you've ever known with annoying messages and constant bombardment of sales. And one of the things that we want to really highlight is when there's proper target marketing to a high quality product, in this case, an event, high quality event with a very specific audience that could benefit from that putting the structure in place, having the local meetups, having the website, the done for you, the tickets, the affiliate links, getting all that tracking. We want to give people the opportunity to say, here are different ways that you can throw your own money at this thing, and then you can actually make the money back out of it as the affiliate. So we'd like to open up that opportunity to everybody. We're trying to put all the pieces together. Again, we're testing it with our own money and making sure that all the systems work and all the things work. So we were actually the first affiliate for the blockchain bootcamp. Now that we know that it works, we're opening that up to everybody in a more structured way, and stay tuned for more on that. So that was the content that I had prepared. Jason, did I miss anything? Did I leave anything out? And what would you like to add?
Oh, I think I was on mute there. No, that covered it really well. I think I've got the airdrop. Did we want to switch to doing our airdrop now?
I would in a minute, if you can just get that going here. Rosetta, thank you for jumping in. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you questions, ideas, comments, what And also thank you for joining us in our Founding 100. We're so excited to have you do that. So we're going to do that with you offline, but just wanted to get any feedback from you before we do the airdrop.
Thank you so much, Tyler. No, I'm just very excited about what we're doing. The session that you did was just awesome with the boot camp, and I have several people who are already interested in participating in our June event.
That is awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Well, I'll make sure I get you the link set up. So I would love for you to be our next affiliate if you want. I know that you're obviously in sales for a living, so would love to do that. So maybe you're going to be our first person that we help make $100,000. So we just have 999, you plus 999 more. So it'd be spectacular. Thank you for that feedback. I always welcome it, partially just as a friend and partially just, it's always nice to hear from a real estate professional that this content is valuable, because I think one of the things that I misunderstood a little bit when we were planning this was only reaching out to people who already understood real estate who might not understand Web3 quite as well. And then Jason actually changed my mind on that when he said, there's a huge community of people who are pretty knowledgeable about Web3. They don't have any idea about real estate. And so really trying to bridge the gap. And that's part of the idea of the network and the partnerships. And hopefully you'll make some new friends and meet some interesting people and do that. So, okay, Jason, we are ready for the airdrop when you are.
All right, I was just playing secretary since you were hosting here and making sure that I had everybody accounted for, and just wanted to do a quick shout out to Blur's Day and Poopster. Thanks for the YouTube comments there. And that is one of the ways that we do reward people here too. We know that Google, YouTube love the live participation on the live stream. So we do provide 10 REtoken for anybody that engages during one of our live streams. So thank you everybody that did that here tonight. And I'm just grabbing the password here from LastPass. LastPass is a password manager that we personally use and recommend, and we do utilize it minimally here, but we don't have a whole lot of passwords in utilization. But one is the MetaMask hot wallet, and this is the MetaMask hot wallet for REtokenDAO.eth. Here on the screen have Coinvice. Coinvice.co is the social token platform, and this is REtoken, the real estate DAO profile on Coinvice. And I'll just throw a link in here real quick on our live stream. Doing our REtoken airdrop via Coinvice.co. There's a link to the REtoken DAO profile. So going here to the dashboard on Coinvice, and this is some of the different things that you can do on the social token platform here. And here's the Google Sheet that we use for keeping track of the participation. And just going to copy this into a notepad so that we can replace the commas with the what is it called? The tab, because that's when you copy and paste out of a Google Sheet, it is tab, and we want a comma separated here. So just doing a real quick find, replace with the comma. So and this is what we're going to do on the airdrop. Going to go down here, create a new airdrop, and I'll show you when this gets completed what it looks like. Make this a little bit bigger here for everybody on the live stream. And we're going to do by wallet addresses, and it's a two-step process, just selecting REtoken there, and I'm going to drop the address list in here, and this is on, here is the airdrop title. That's for our community call. Community call number 30 is almost in the history books. So the first step 1 of 2, approve the REtoken. And what it does, since that's a multi-sig transaction, it just makes sure, and we haven't started using the Gnosis safe And that's one of the capabilities of Coinbase, but right now, again, using the MetaMask hot wallet. So, and here's the first, and I just increased the gas to high because it's on Matic and it's very affordable. So we want this to go through quickly, and then that transaction is getting approved, and then we'll do the airdrop right here. Create airdrop, and one more signature, save, and confirm. And there is the transaction record, and I'll throw that in here. Thank you, Rosetta, for the YouTube comments. Here is the Polygon TX record on the multi-send airdrop. And that should be, we'll refresh this, and there's the multi-send transaction details. So back to you, Tyler.
Thank you so much for doing that. I actually love that we do this live. We got a little bit behind for a few weeks, so on the catch-up list, but it just makes everything so much easier. And it also is really, I think, so encouraging when we have new people show up, and as soon as they participate, you know, by the end of the hour, they are actually a holder. So super fun, super exciting. That is the end of the prepared agenda. So unless anybody has anything else, we'll call it a wrap. Well, thanks you guys both so much for participating. Always great to hang out. Thanks, Blurs and Poopster. Good to see you guys online. And we will see everybody Sunday for our next working group.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. See you soon. Okay, bye.
Have a good rest of your week, everybody.